Hi, welcome to this episode of Thai Food. Today I'm getting a pot roast ready to go in the crock pot. I'm just going to obviously open my bag that it was in the freezer. And I had bought a large chunk of, I believe it was top round, when I was up in New York at Davis Brothers. It was a good price. Brought it home and sliced it into chunks to make pot roast with. You know, vacuum sealed the bags and froze it. So I want to get that out. Get this patted off. Try to take some of the moisture off of this, because what I'm going to do is a little unconventional for some people when they do pot roast. And yes, I'm going to wash that stuff later. I know I had raw meat on my hands. So I'm going to put a seasoning on the outside of this. And is what I do is I season this really good, and then I actually smoke this for a few hours on the smoker. And then I'm going to turn the temperature up and give it a good sear on the outside, and then I go into the crock pot with it. It's a few extra steps, but it's worth the flavor you get. So I'm going to do an injection marinade of black gold in this too. Try to get all the air out. Now, I've got markers on the side of my injector here, so I brought it up to the ½ ounce mark. And I'm going to go right into the pot roast with this, and right into the center. Do the full ½ ounce. A little extra there. Just make sure I got it in there. And yeah, it's going to dribble out a little bit, and I'm just going to rub the outside with it. Now this is going to flavor inside, and inside of the meat's going to get nice and tender from this as well, and it'll work its way through the meat as you cook it. And of course I'm going to have a little bit on the outside here. Give something for the seasoning to stick to as well, you know. Don't want a whole lot, but enough to give it a little shine from the liquid. Alright, now that I got that done, I'll set this over here so I can wash the outside of that bottle. I'm going to wash my hands real quick here before I continue. Just going to let the pot roast sit there for a little bit and prepare some carrots. So, slide that down. I had a large bag of carrots that I needed to use up, so I'm going to put them in the pot roast. If you got potatoes, you can do those too. I don't have any at this moment, so we're just going to add the carrots in. But, you know, little baby potatoes work good. Basically, it's what you want to do is you want to add the carrots and the potatoes around the last hour and a half that it's going to be cooking, just to make sure they're cooked through and they get the flavor. You can add them sooner if you want. I don't like my vegetables all that mushy, but it's all up to you. It's personal preference. But just basically peel my carrots like so, and then trim the ends off on them to get them into the liquid. Now you can peel any way you feel comfortable. I've seen people peel it like this. It's a little faster, makes a little more of a mess. I was trying not to make a whole huge mess. You know, that's why I was peeling like I was. But if you're in a hurry, I'm not in terrible much hurry this morning, but if you are, you know, you can obviously go the back and forth method. You know, the peeler is designed to cut both directions. You know, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, just, you know, back and forth motion like I was just doing, it'll peel it nice and quick. Just like so. Like I said, it makes a little bit more of a mess doing it that way. And it doesn't quite get the ends like I want them. Because I try to minimize how much I waste on the end. You know, that's just more carrot I get to eat. Not that I probably need to eat more carrot than I do other things. But that's besides the point. I like to do long ribbons. If you got a good quality peeler, it shouldn't be too much trouble for you. Cheap dollar store ones probably don't peel as good. I wouldn't know. I'm a firm believer of going to the restaurant supply store and getting stuff myself. I've got a lot of things from there. The tongs I use for the grill, I got at the restaurant supply store for like $5. They're about yay long. You know, nice heavy duty tongs. And that's what I use. I don't go buy those barbecue sets they sell at Walmart because, well, they're junk as far as I'm concerned. I mean, either way, I'm getting something made in China. You know, whether I go to the restaurant supply store or I go to Walmart and get the barbecue set. But the restaurant supply store seems to last longer than, you know, the ones at Walmart do. Especially when you buy the ones at Walmart for like $1 and a week later they fall apart, and then you're going to spend another $1. Well, in 5 weeks you spent $5 on those, and you could have just spent the $5 at the restaurant supply store and had the good ones to begin with, and saved yourself the fuel money of running back and forth. Of course, if you're like me, you probably just pick them up while you're there getting other stuff. But irregardless, you know, it's all the hassle of trying to cook and all of a sudden they fall apart in the middle of flipping a steak. No good. And yes, I flip steaks with tongs. Doesn't make me a bad person. I just don't see the need to use a spatula on a steak. Or meat forks. You never want to use a meat fork on your steak to flip it, because then you're piercing it and letting the juice out. And that'll dry it out a little bit. Or a lot, depending on how well you like your steak cooked. I prefer a medium. A lot of people say medium's a cardinal sin. But you know what? It's all preference. I know people that like their steak well done. And again, that's just what they prefer. Doesn't make them bad, but some people feel you're ruining the meat if you cook it that long. It's up to them. You're not the one eating it, they are. So just trim the ends like so. Trim off the smaller piece, put it in there. The bigger piece, for ease of cooking, we'll just split that in half. If you got a good quality sharp knife, no big deal. No, I did not get this at the restaurant supply store. I actually, this one is one my wife picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had a nice knife set for $10. I tell you what, we lucked out on that one. And I believe she talked him lower than that, but it's good quality knife. It's nice and sharp. It's just as good as my more expensive one that I have as well. The more expensive one, well, that one's a short story. Let's just say I bought a waterless cookware set when I was younger, and it came in the set. And if I bought it on its own, it was probably about a $400 to $500 knife set with the bamboo case that it came in. I really like it. I don't know if I would pay $400 to $500 again for it. You know, if I had to replace it, I'd probably just get something like this. You know, works good, just as sharp. I'm happy with it. It's not. This one's not as heavy though. That other one is. It's got some weight to it. Let me tell you. But I like it. So. And yeah, I may be a fool for getting a waterless cookware set, but you know what? That set's lasted me this long and it's still going. So, I like it. But anyways, got our carrots all prepared. Set that off to the side. Now back to the meat. Just got my spice mixture that I got here. This is a mixture of Montreal steak seasoning, McCormick's Applewood rub. I put it in a coffee bean grinder and ground it up. Then I added some granulated garlic, granulated onion powder, some cumin. I I don't believe I added any salt because there's a lot of salt in both of those rubs. So I felt that the need for salt was obsolete at that point. And I believe that's all I had. Oh, smoked paprika. That's the other one. I was trying to remember here as I'm looking at it. It's been a little bit since I've done it. And it's not one of those things I wrote down. I probably should have because it come out really good. But I know what to do for next time for the most part. I pretty much remember it. So, just going to sprinkle this on the outside here. Kind of rub it around. Get the flavor on there. And while we smoke this, the flavor will help soak in as well. So, I want to get all sides of this. I want to get that flavor on it. So like I said, this is going to sit on the smoker for a little bit. So, it'll have time to marry the flavors in it. And it'll get nice and smoky as well. And if you don't want yours smoked, you don't have to smoke it. I would recommend using a grill on high temperature though and getting a good grilled sear on this because it'll help jumpstart the cooking of the meat. And that's kind of what you want. And that sear on the outside creates what I call a Maillard reaction. And I've heard the term on Cook's Country and Food Network and everything. And that Maillard reaction is basically the browning of the meat, and it helps add to the umami flavor at the end. So there we have it. That's all I'm going to do for that. And like I said, I'm going to take this, I'm going to smoke it for a couple hours on the smoke setting on my grill, and then I'll turn the temperature up and get a good sear on it because it won't have time to sear at that point. Basically, I'm just trying to infuse some smoke into it. Then I'll give it a good sear on all sides, and then I'm going to go right into the crock pot with it. And you can put the crock pot on whatever setting you want at that point. I'll probably put it on my 6-hour setting, and then probably when I've got about an hour left, I add my carrots in, and good to go. And that's basically all there is to it. Like I said, you could add potatoes as well. Hour and a half left, add your potatoes to it, and it'll be nice and tender and delicious. So that's all there is to it. I'm not doing a second part on this one. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory from here. Even people who can't cook can handle this one, I'm sure. So thanks for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. As of this video recording today, I'm up to 64 subscribers, so we're getting there. Like I said, at 250 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway for my black gold seasoning that's sitting on the counter over there. And I'm going to give it away to 5 people if I hit 250 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, click the bell icon, you'll know when I'm uploading a new video. Check out Thai Food on YouTube. Check it out on Facebook as well, the Facebook group. Also got my Instagram and Twitter. So have a good one.